ADF was sold to Kagame
Mm.
by some leaders of ADF. The amount they sold it is not known yet.
Mm.
And the agreement between them and Kagame was, if you sell to us the name ADF, by the way, recently you've been hearing a lot about Chibarama selling NUP
No.
to Chagulanyi group. So
Mm.
some people can sell the name, which in this case they did. They sold the name of ADF to Kagame, and Kagame lied to them that if they sell the name, he's eventually going to assist them in their long-term plan of overthrowing Museveni. For them, they thought it was wonderful because, by the way, you know very well, there are many groups who have been trying, and they are still trying, to overthrow Museveni by any means necessary. And any good Ugandan will believe or believes this is the only alternative people have to get rid of this bastard. And I'm calling him a bastard because that's not the word I would want to use, but I'm copying from Mr. Robert Amsterdam, who used it just recently in the NUP convention in Holland. He called Museveni a bastard. And I think he was right. The plan of ADF at its inception was to galvanize and mobilize an armed overthrow of Museveni, which, by the way, is the right thing for a Ugandan to do. And anybody with common sense would understand that this is the only option Ugandans have, because Museveni told us that he came by the gun, he has to be taken out by the gun. So he gave us the formula. Now, back to ADF. Kagame bought the name, and some of the top leaders of ADF, at least one of them, is comfortably living in Rwanda. Another one is in Kampala. And many others are in other countries, including United Kingdom. The agreement they made was that once they sell the name ADF, and Kagame uses it to do some atrocities in the North Kivu region against the Banandis, you should not make a statement to claim that you are not the one who did it. You've had many statements from both Museveni and Kagame's governments saying ADF is killing innocent people. And as we already know that the Tutsis are masters of propaganda and lying, they lied to the Tshisekedi government that it is the ADF who are killing your people. And therefore, you should allow UPDF to come and help you wipe out these rebels who are killing your people. Tshisekedi foolishly fell into that trap and signed a deal with Museveni and allowed UPDF to go into Congo. But ever since the UPDF went into Congo, they have not delivered one rebel fighter, captured or killed. But we already know that they have been involved in slaughtering innocent people. Why are they doing this? I'll tell you, because I found that out just recently. You remember when Kikwete kicked out those Tutsis from Tanzania? They ran into Uganda and finally went to Kigali. And Kagame figured out, where are we going to put these people? He decided that we are going to send them to North Kivu, where they can settle and graze their cattle. But in order to do that, we have to clear that region of the indigenous people, who are predominantly the Nandis. They went into the area of Bunya, Butembo, and started slaughtering innocent people. I'm talking about the Tutsis who had been kicked out of Tanzania, who settled in, who went to Kigali, and Kagame trained them at a location called, hold on, as I check my notes. He set up a training camp in Kagera National Park at a place called they were trained in Kagera National Park at a place, I'm going to give you the name of the location, bear with me. Mutara, that was the training camp. The training camp was in Mutara in Kagera National Park. After that, they were deployed into the Democratic Republic of Congo, started killing people in Beni and Ituri. When they kill, they slash and open the abdomen, cut off the heads, totally deform the corpse, and leave them there to terrorize the rest of the population. That is why you've been seeing thousands of Banandi running away from their home area into Uganda as refugees. Once they have been pushed out of that region, then the elderly, the women from that group of Batusi who were kicked out of Tanzania move in and occupy the territory and they settle there as new owners of the land, which is almost the same thing they have done in some of our parts of Uganda. Now, Kagame made this deal with Museveni and they bluffed these ADF leaders. And every time they have killed innocent people, you have not had a single former leader of ADF stating that those statements made by the government of Rwanda and Uganda are false, because that is part of their agreement when they sold the name. So you have to know this, that the people who are doing the killing of innocent Congolese, particularly the Nandis of that region, are the Tutsis who were kicked out of Tanzania, who now go under the name of ADF. There are two different areas, two different groups of Batusi doing the killings of innocent people in Congo. You have the so-called, I would call it the Tutsi ADF, and the M23. M23 is operating in a different area, mostly in Ruchuru. And they are also doing the same thing of killing innocent people. Now, ADF has been M23 has been reinforced with new battalions coming in from Rwanda military and the Uganda military. And they are marching according to what we now know. Don't be surprised if they reach Kinshasa and overthrow the government, because they are now a full-fledged military force. The so-called ADF, which is predominantly Tutsis, is very busy just clearing the grounds for their settlements. Hopefully, sooner or later, they are going to take over the entire Kivu region. And if they take over the entire Kivu region, you know damn well, this is a region which is very rich in minerals. Behind them are the Americans mining companies and the British, Canadian, Australian mining companies. They are helping them in false propaganda, because all these Patriots want is a place to graze their cattle and settle. The Muzungus are more interested in what is in the soil. So they have a marriage of two devils.